And Jax goes to revisit our friend Georgie.
He does.
And I'm going to call this scene Batter Up.
That's fair enough. He does bring bats.
Yes. He solves the Georgie situation real fast. Welcome back to the third and final part of tonight's show. If you are just joining us, we have already finished parts 1 and 2, where we tried and discussed Redemption Straight Bourbon Whiskey, and we covered the first half of Sons of Anarchy Season 2, Episode 2, titled Small Tears. A quick reminder to everyone to please like this video and make sure you've subscribed to the show. And if you haven't already done so, be sure to leave us your questions and comments in the comment section of this video below, or you can also email your questions to us at ask@bourbonbros, that's BROS.TV. And as always, if your question doesn't suck, we may even answer it on a future show. So Ken, let's just keep this thing rolling because we still have a lot to cover.
Let's keep it moving.
And next I want to talk about kind of after Jax meets with Luann and Luann gets snippy. Jax lets Luann know that was a bad decision.
Right.
And Jax goes to revisit our friend Georgie.
He does.
And I'm going to call this scene Batter Up.
That's fair enough. He does bring bats.
Yes. He solves the Georgie situation real fast.
Georgie!
Hey! Get the hell out! This is a close set!
Come here, you!
What I loved about this scene is you have Jax, who is pissed off, right? He's irate that he has to come back, that Georgie did not heed the warning. Mm-hmm. You've got Opie, who is just taking out aggression after losing Donna, right? Like he's just wanting to take out aggression. And for the rest of the club, it's just fun and games.
Hey! Oh, shit!
I can see you too, sugar touch.
I really liked that whole scene, and it was a little bit of comedic relief for what was a heavy episode, but it also gives Jax an idea, doesn't it?
It does.
So roll us into the next point.
Yeah,
Ken,
I mean,
because I think it tees this up perfectly.
Yeah, it's kind of late in the episode for a storyline about what they would like to do here, but they're at church, they're seen at church, and they're all around the table, and Jax presents the idea to the club about, hey, we need some revenue. We don't have the $50,000 that we owe Luann, right? That Otto's requested, and he sees that Luann's operations have been shut down. And he's trying to think of ways that he can help the situation at the same time, help Sam Crow. So he hits the club up on this idea, presents the idea of them using the new warehouse to let Luann's crew move to film.
Why she wants a $50K.
But that's not gonna happen.
Obviously, but we can offer her something else. A partner.
What are you talking about?
The empty gun warehouse we just built. Same size as Caruso Films.
So I like that. And as they were going around the table, I don't know if you caught it, but everyone's kind of giving their opinion. And
I caught it.
Most everyone likes it. Juice made a comment. He said, "And I can upgrade her internet." There's plenty of room.
We learned that Juice is IT.
Apparently he is. He's a hacker of sorts. I don't know where they were really trying to paint that character piece of Juice. But he said that's where the real money is. He's always a contributor, right?
Yes. And I love Chib's comment, right? Because he's quick to share how he could help.
What did he say?
I was blessed
he
with an excellent eye for casting.
Excellent eye for casting. And Tig said he's always been a big fan of. Yeah, we'll leave it.
Let's just say the club is down with OPP.
Yeah. Let's just say that. Yeah, that's good. So everyone is kind of in on this whole mission that Jack's laying down. They're picking up what Jack's laying down.
Yes. And Jax ends up winning essentially over Clay because Clay's the one person against it.
Right, and the tensions grow.
All right, so then that moves on, right? Because Clay puts it to a vote. Everybody's unanimously in. So Jax goes to break the news to Luann.
Right.
And what we get is Luann enters a horror movie. Because this looks just like the opening scene of a horror movie where you have an attractive young female that gets killed in the first 5 minutes.
Jax? Anyone here? Hello?
And when Jax finally comes out, Luann's first thought is, I'm going to get whacked.
Yeah, that's what she thinks is going to happen.
And this goes back to her getting snippy and Jax getting in her face about the fact that she got snippy with him. And she now thinks that that's led to Jax is going to kill her.
Right. Right.
And Jax is almost laughing at the idea of this because that's not why he's there. It's a funny scene, actually, the way that it plays out. And then ultimately, Jax breaks the news. They negotiate a little. And I love that, Jax has the upper hand. Luann knows it, doesn't like it, but knows that at the end of the day, it's the best decision. And I love how they can have that negotiation, but then at the end of the scene, you see them hugging and they're friendly with one another.
Right. Right.
It was nice.
Yeah, and Jax creatively found out a way to erase the debt. Like,
yes.
Not only are we 50-50, but now this 50 grand goes away. Forget about it. Didn't happen.
That's right.
That was good for the
That's
club.
right.
And
Absolutely.
it's good. I mean, she doesn't have any other options, and Jax lets her know that. So
Yeah,
it was a good. It was
So
a good scene.
It was a good scene.
Yeah,
And
it
this
was.
obviously tees up the club getting into the porn business, and we're going to find out whether that legitimate revenue stream is a good idea or not.
Right. We'll see where this
So
goes.
take us into the next point, Ken.
Yeah, I mean, somewhere along the line here, there was a deal that was struck between the Niners and the club where they needed a couple dozen assault rifles, right? And so
Well, yeah, because they're going to go to war.
they're going to go to war with the Mayans, and so there's a scene where they're exchanging the money for the guns in the back alley of, I don't know where they're at, but all hell breaks loose because after they exchange it, the Mayans show up.
2 dozen AKs.
Looks good.
Hey, the man.
They were tipped off by Ethan, right? Ethan Zobel.
Yeah, we don't know that initially.
We don't.
But yes.
We don't know how that happened. But Bobby gets pretty wounded in this episode. He gets a bullet in the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll call that the shootout at the OK Corral scene.
Very much like a modern day Western.
Yeah, absolutely. So
And
the thing that kind of what I took out of this episode was kind of the way it ended, where there's all this gunfire happening, and Opie is on a mission to,
zero
zero.
Fs given.
Yeah, he doesn't care. Like I got a death wish. Like he's not trying to protect himself. He's just firing and walking into, mayhem, so to speak.
Yeah, and the opposite side of that is Clay only wants to get out there alive, right? So he's letting the Mayans take the guns. He's giving the Niners back their money. Like he's like, let's live to fight another day.
But he sees what Opie's doing.
And Opie is like, nope.
Nope.
Yeah, the way he walked out with zero care for his own life. Everybody knows it.
He's in a tough place, and the entire club sees it. Everyone sees it.
Yes. That was a powerful scene.
Yep.
Which really brings us to the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Which, as much as we now find ourselves in every show starting with the cold open, it seems like we're always going to have to finish with what I refer to as fade to black. Right? It's those final scenes that end with the screen fading to black and the Sons of Anarchy logo, the Reaper,
Yep.
on the screen. We got a lot here to
Right.
unpack.
It's for me. It started when Gemma was at the club and she's walking down looking at that 46 Knucklehead.
Ah,
Beautiful bike. What a beautiful bike.
it is a beautiful bike, and the way the scene was shot, like, you so badly want to know what's going through her mind, and you get zero.
Yeah. I mean, I was expecting, because the music, the soundtrack that kicked off, like, I was expecting a little bit more.
Yeah, there's going to be this big prolific reveal.
Yeah. And it was cool. I was all getting pumped for it with the soundtrack, and then
Nope.
it cut out, and it cut out to Jackson and Clay, right, having a discussion in the back room there at church, just the two of them. And Clay, makes some points, right?
That little judgment call you made for the good of the club came back to bite us in the ass, almost killed Bobby.
I see that.
Whatever you may think, the truth is, everything I do is to protect what we got.
There was some emotional back and forth there between Clay and Jax.
And then because Bobby was shot, and Tara's there and everybody's there, basically, this is also the first time Jax sees Gemma since the rape. He doesn't know she was raped. He thinks she was in a car accident, but this is the first time he's seen her and the injuries. And you see him react to that, and you see Gemma try to hide and shrug it off.
Right. Good observation.
But yes, this whole kind of fade to black end was really around that scene between Jax and Clay.
Right.
And again, great performances. Ron Perlman, Charlie Hunnam, who play Clay and Jax respectively, are always great. I particularly liked Ron Perlman's performance
Yeah.
in this scene.
So did I. It was well done.
And then the ending, I thought, was very poetic, because we haven't seen it in a while, you get Jax returning to the roof.
Yes. Yes. And who's
But
with
it's
him?
with Gemma.
Gemma's sitting up there.
You've got mother and son, arms around one another on the roof, which I may be reading too much into this, but the roof has been where Jax goes to read the journal. We know that Gemma has been doing everything she can to prevent that. And now you've got mother and son on the roof with arms around one another.
It's gotten real, and they're there to reflect together.
Yeah. And that's where we fade to black.
Right.
So overall, again, I think 8.2 is fair. It's not a fun episode by any means. It's heavy, but it's a good episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 8.2 is fair.
Which brings us to next week's show, Ken, which is going to be season 2, episode 3, obviously. The episode is titled Fix. 3 letters. That's all we get for episode 3. Fix.
Okay.
I have not seen this episode in probably 12 years.
Really? I think I did watch it. I took a peek at it about a week or so ago, and it had been about that long for me. I think...
So you've seen it recently?
I have.
All right. So I'm going to rely on you for the teaser then.
Well, I think without giving...
What do we have to look forward to in this episode?
I think you get a little more comedic value than you did in this episode.
I could use a little comedic value after this episode.
You get a little bit more of a pick-me-up. You get the build-on of what you see forming here with the partnership between the club and the business there. And,
okay. So we get more of kind of the partnership with Luann and the porn business?
Yeah. We'll just leave it at that for now. But I think
Okay.
there's an uptake there. I enjoyed it.
Partnering in a porn business, it kind of invites comedy.
Yeah, I guess it can, depending on how it's done.
Considering the only kind of comedic moments in this episode were centered around that,
Right.
it's probably the only time I'll say I could use more porn.
Yeah, to get that
'Cause I
comedy.
need
To
some
get the
comedy, Ken.
Yeah, you need some comedy. That's fair. That's fair.
So that brings us to our second most important question of the night, Ken.
Right?
What are we going to drink alongside Fix?
Well, I'm very pleased and happy to report that I have managed to secure, and I will not reveal how I have secured such spirit, but I do have in my possession a bottle of Buffalo Trace.
Really?
Yes,
Oh, this is big news.
don't ask, don't tell. It's just I possess it, and so why don't we
okay.
go? Why don't
so
we
there's a
move forward with
story
that?
here that so it's like Voldemort, the name that shall not be said out loud.
Exactly.
We can't.
Exactly. And
Okay.
so I said,
But you have it.
I do. It's actually
Oh,
right
I
here.
see it.
Yeah, it's here. It has arrived. So I can't wait. And this is an exception because I love the price point on this one. Right?
There we
it
go.
is. Same one.
We're matching.
There it is. It's the same one. I love the price point on this, so I'm not afraid to open it. So I'm looking forward to cracking this one. I've never had it. And so let's move forward with the Buffalo Trace.
And this is like a quintessential, what should be widely available bourbon. Like this to me is in line with Bulleit, Woodford Reserve. Like this is a go-to staple.
Mm-hmm.
This is Buffalo Trace Distillery's kind of flagship, widely available, mass-produced bourbon. But it's supposed to be really good.
I have not had the pleasure, so I can't wait for that.
So here's what I'm interested about. We started this entire show with Bulleit.
We did.
We then went to Woodford, which is a favorite of mine, and it quickly became a favorite of yours.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this bottle of Buffalo Trace, other than the scarcity and what sounds like a lot of hoops you had to jump through to get, is on par with, in terms of price point and kind of positioning, it's on par with Bulleit and Woodford Reserve.
I'd say.
The question is, will it become your new favorite, your new go-to? Will it become my new favorite and go-to?
Well, that's wow. I mean that's
So-
a bold statement.
Here's my teaser for you, Ken. Buffalo Trace's mash bill is undisclosed,
There's a few that do that.
but it is rumored to be a very high percentage of corn. Up to 90%.
Whoa, that's wow. Now you're speaking my language.
So
what is the
you like the high corn,
I
so
do.
that's a good sign for you.
What about the age statement? Do we know?
Well, we'll get into that, but bear with me for a minute. So we checked the corn box.
Corn is checked.
There's another bourbon that you are quite a fan of, as I recall, and that would be the Eagle Rare.
Mm-hmm.
That also comes out of Buffalo Trace Distillery.
That's right.
So we've got a couple of good signs pointing to the fact that you're going to like this. A lot of people, the way we kind of say Woodford is our go-to kind of everyday drinker, a lot of people go with Buffalo Trace.
Really?
That's their go-to.
Wow, I can't wait.
So this is a great, I think, matchup here in terms of, will this become our new go-to?
Okay.
And so as you think about it being positioned kind of similarly to Bulleit, Woodford Reserve, Michter's, which I know you are a fan of,
Yes.
I'm very curious to see where the Buffalo Trace lines up for both of us.
Yeah, and I'm actually really hoping for it because the price point is great. So if it really is that great, yeah, I could see. That'd be a great one to adopt as a favorite.
Of course, you have to be able to find it.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I might have to. Yeah, we'll get to that.
And that is going to do it for tonight's show. We hope you had as much fun as we did. This is truly the highlight of the week for us. We look forward to it. We talk about it. If we had the time, we'd probably do this every day. It is a high point for me, certainly. So we're glad that you joined us, and we hope it was fun for you. One final reminder, for those of you watching on YouTube, please remember to like this video, and then be sure to subscribe to the show and visit our channel for past shows that you may have missed. And for those listening to the podcast, please leave us a glowing review along with that 5-star rating, and then subscribe to the show so you don't miss any future episodes. But most of all, Ken and I want to thank you not only for joining us tonight, but making it to the very end of the show. If you are hearing this right now, you've made it. You have listened to us banter for over an hour, and you've made it to the end of the show. So we hope you had fun. Do join us here each and every week on the Liquid Courage Show. We post shows every single week. So what that means is like, subscribe, and then be here next week. Good night, everyone.
Good night.